Well, I would expect him to resign immediately. He has told Parliament and the country over and over again that he'd been assured that there had been no parties. He has repeatedly lied. That means he has also broken the ministerial code. That code actually matters. There is a relationship of trust there should be between government and the people, between the Prime Minister and the people. That now has been fundamentally broken, and that means he's got to go. I think this would be one of the most serious constitutional crises that we've had. As far as I know, this is the first time that a Prime Minister has been deemed to have broken the law while in office. He's broken his own rules. Everyone else was having to follow those rules, and yet he chose not to. So I think the fact that he has so blatantly, clearly lied to Parliament and to the country means that there has to be consequences. Reflect on the fact that the only person who's resigned over Partygate so far is Allegra Stratton. She resigned for joking about parties. What does that mean for people who actually were at those parties and then lied to Parliament and public about it afterwards? I think for this to go unchecked, for somehow Tory MPs to shrug their shoulders if the Prime Minister doesn't resign himself, if other Tory MPs decide not to act, then I think that would show an incredible corruption, frankly, at the heart of our political system. Well, I think that their view will be that basically this is a Prime Minister who has trashed any kind of reputation that Britain had for following the rule of law. And of course, it's not just over Partygate. He did it when it came to proroguing Parliament over Brexit. He's shown himself to be someone with a complete disregard for his own rules, for the law, and to have the chief lawmaker in the country to also be a clear rule breaker, a law breaker, I think is just simply not sustainable. He has to go. Of course, the government should release the Sue Gray report immediately. I think we need to have all of the information in front of us. But to be honest, we've also got the fact that the police have deemed that the Prime Minister and indeed the Chancellor have broken the law. We know that already. In a sense, we've got enough, it seems to me, to mean that they should resign now. Having said that, of course, we want to see the full picture, to see what else has been going on. And there is absolutely no argument, I think, now for withholding that Sue Gray report. It has to be released right now. I feel frankly sickened by this, and I know that many of my constituents do as well. The last 2 years have been a time of unprecedented trauma, of people dying alone, of others not being able to see their loved ones, of NHS staff risking their lives, of the loneliness and the horror in care homes, all the while when people were making decisions to follow the rules at huge personal cost and grief and sadness to themselves. The idea that at that very same time, the person responsible for putting those laws in place was literally partying in Downing Street, I think will just make people feel utterly sick and very angry. And that's another reason that he has to go. Well, I would hope that we would have a recall of Parliament so that if necessary, there can be a vote of no confidence. As I say, I hope that he would resign before that. I hope that he would actually have a look at his own behaviour and perhaps find some shred of honour somewhere left in him to do the right thing. If he doesn't, Parliament should be recalled and there should be a vote. Unfortunately, under our broken system, it's the government itself that has the power to decide whether or not Parliament is recalled, just as we have a Prime Minister in whose power it is to decide whether or not the ministerial code has been broken. I hope that longer term out of this, we have a very clear look at the rules that govern our democracy in this country, because they are frankly so broken that when you have a Prime Minister who has himself now been fined by the police for breaking the law, we don't, as individual MPs, have an automatic mechanism to bring him to account, and that's what's needed.